Right now, it's Madison's oldest piece of public art, but it's in jeopardy of being torn down. How you could help decide its fate.
Plus, campaign 2024. The biggest names in the GOP are ramping up the rhetoric this morning.
And the snow is on the way out as we are looking at just cloudy skies. Mild today. We are tracking a storm system later in the week.
Good Monday morning, everyone, and welcome to News 3 Now this morning. I'm Chris Stanford.
And I'm Josh Breiter. Kelly Slifka is here with your first warn weather forecast. A couple of delays up to the north of Madison this morning for schools. That snow is just very sloppy right now.
Right here, yeah. In Madison, it was mainly just a little bit of rain mixed in with that, and it's been melting. Areas to the north up there in Adams and Juneau County did get a little bit of that accumulating on the ground, so that may be causing some delays. But thankfully, temperatures are above freezing area-wide, so melting, just the roads are going to be a little bit wet here in Madison. But as you travel to the north, you might encounter some of that sloppy slush on the roadways. 34 right now in the Dalles, 36 in Madison. So as you can see, area-wide, even though we did have the snow and some of that been melting, temperatures are above freezing, so none of that icing up. We do have an east wind right now. Eventually, that'll switch around to the north later today and bring us some cooler weather tomorrow. But looking at quiet, generally cloudy weather most of this week. I think we'll see a little bit of sun tomorrow. Seasonable temperatures, highs in the upper 30s and low 40s throughout much of the week. We are watching a more significant snowmaker coming our way, it looks like, later in the week. And this time of the year, I wouldn't doubt if that doesn't mix with some rain come Friday morning. Temperatures today in the lower 40s this morning, rising in the mid-40s as we get in the afternoon hours. There might be a little bit of light mixed precipitation clipping Adams, Juneau County, may even slip into parts of Columbia County later this afternoon. But roads generally okay, just a little bit wet this morning. Mostly cloudy skies as temperatures head in the 40s. More on that late week snowstorm coming up.
All right, thanks, Kelly. In developing news this morning, we have video out of Whitewater showing the area where authorities say they found a dead newborn over the weekend.
Our Shane Hogan is here with what we're learning from authorities at this hour. Shane, what can you tell us?
Yeah, Josh, the body of that newborn baby was found in a field near the Twin Oaks Mobile Home Park on North Track Street shortly after 11 a.m. on Saturday morning. Right now, detectives are investigating, but Whitewater police are not sharing any more details at this time. Officials are asking the community to come forward with any information if they have it. And if you do have any information, you can contact Whitewater Police at the number you see on your screen. That is 262-473-0555. Whitewater Police also reminding the public of the Safe Haven for Newborns legislation. It's a Wisconsin law that guarantees the rights of parents relinquishing custody of newborn babies 72 hours and younger. Newborns can be given up to a law enforcement officer, EMS practitioner, or a hospital staff member. That can happen anonymously without the fear of any legal consequences. Again, anyone with information is asked to contact local police, and you can stay with News 3 Now as we continue to learn more about this developing tragic situation.
All right, Shane Hogan reporting for us this morning. Shane, thank you.
6:02 now, and a possible preview of what we can expect in the race for 2024. President Biden, former President Trump, and other potential contenders crisscrossed the country, laying out some of their priorities and speeches over the weekend. Jared Hill reports this morning from New York.
President Biden and others marched across the Edmund Pettus Bridge in Selma, Alabama. It marks the 58th anniversary of Bloody Sunday, a pivotal moment in the civil rights movement when police beat peaceful protesters who were demanding the right to vote.
The right to vote, to have your vote counted, is the threshold of democracy and liberty. And this fundamental right remains under assault.
Across the country in California, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, seen as a possible 2024 Republican presidential contender, slammed what he called woke ideology before a crowd of supporters at the Reagan Library.
We will never, ever surrender to the woke mob. Our state is where woke goes to die.
DeSantis skipped the Conservative Political Action Conference, or CPAC, where former President Trump gave a fiery speech Saturday, taking aim at President Biden.
We will evict Joe Biden from the White House, and we will liberate America from these villains and scoundrels once and for all.
Trump is one of at least 3 declared 2024 presidential candidates. Maryland's former Republican governor, Larry Hogan, told CBS Face the Nation that he will not jump into the race.
It's a smaller field, maybe tougher for Trump to get the nomination.
I didn't want to have a pile-up
of a bunch of people fighting.
On the Democrat side, author Marianne Williamson launched a long-shot effort to challenge President Biden for the nomination, although Mr. Biden has not officially announced a bid for re-election. Jared Hill, CBS News.
California's Democratic Governor Gavin Newsom responded to DeSantis' criticism. In a statement to CBS News, Newsom said, California residents are safer, healthier, and more prosperous. Donald Trump, by the way, overwhelmingly won the CPAC straw poll last weekend with 62% support, followed by Governor DeSantis, who got 20%.
Continuing coverage now, there are growing concerns about access to food and electricity in parts of California. Even more snow fell there over the weekend. Roads were closed, trapping residents who have been battered by weeks of heavy snow. This new video coming from Truckee, California, near the Sierra Nevada mountains, where piles and piles of snow mounted along the road. There may be a silver lining, though, with these recent storms. Data from the U.S. Drought Monitor shows California's reservoirs have gained much-needed relief in the last few weeks.
Now to the mental health crisis impacting our kids. 1 in 6 Gen Zers now say they use TikTok every day and are increasingly doing so as a search engine, looking for advice. Social media therapy is trending. The hashtag mental health has been searched more than 67 billion times. Dr. Ina Konevsky may not look like your typical influencer, but this professor at San Diego's Mesa College has become TikTok famous with more than 1 million followers, and she's done it by debunking mental health misinformation, one video at a time.
Yes, you can give people advice based on your experience as long as you're clear that that's where you're coming from. These things are not presented that way. They're not presented as in this is my personal experience, but they are presented in like, did you know that this is what it is? Like if you are autistic, you do this. If you have depression, you do this. So it's not, it may be informed by their personal experience, but that's not what they're making it sound like.
Her videos have 36 million likes. So far, Dr. Ina says that she can't get TikTok to take down content that she's flagged. The folks at TikTok's headquarters encourage folks to get professional advice when they can.
And more local news at 6:07 this morning. The fate of Madison's oldest piece of public art rests in your hands. The NEC Stewart Fountain at Vilas Park is in need of repair, and the city hopes you'll share your thoughts on its future in a survey. The fountain honors the life of Annie C. Stewart, a well-known charitable community member from the early 20th century. It was built in 1925, but has had a history of being vandalized, dating back as early as the 1930s. Wisconsin winters don't have the fountain, or don't do the fountain any favors either, so the Parks Division covers it through the winter months. Many groups have made attempts to conserve and repair the public art, including a Chicago-based company that has presented conservation options. City officials are now asking community members to fill out the survey on the fountain's future. We've included a link to that on channel3000.com.
It's been more than 3 decades since Mineral Point veterans have been able to go to their favorite watering hole, but it is finally back open. The bar at American Legion's 170th post in Mineral Point has been closed for 35 years. In its day, it was the place where community members would all gather for a drink.
It means a lot to see a lot of people show up, and good old days. Yeah.
So we sit here and shoot the bull about who did what and when they were in the military, and then, you know, the experiences they went through, and it's important to the veterans.
Local law at the time prevented any bars and Mineral Points downtown, but that post was outside the jurisdiction, and it was quite the popular place.
Girl Scout cookie season officially underway this week. Over the weekend, Girl Scouts began their cookie trek throughout Dane County, with troops set up in front of grocery stores, donut shops, and thrift stores. The cookie program is a critical source of funding for many local Girl Scout troops and help teach independence, goal setting, and entrepreneurial skills.
Selling things is really fun. You can just tell them about what you're selling, and then they'll get intrigued by it and they want to buy more, you know?
Oh, I know. If you're looking for your fix, you have from now until April 9th to buy some. To find a cookie booth or a Scout near you, we've posted a link to channel3000.com.
They didn't have to sell me on anything.
Nope.
We got some on Saturday. I ate about a whole box before I even knew what was going on.
That's how it goes.
Oh my gosh, we got a whole assortment of them, and I know I had 3 or 4 different kinds of Girl Scout cookies.
It only
over the
comes
weekend.
one time a year.
That's so good. Oh, so tasty. Hard to put that box down. All right, 6:09 now. The weather may be starting to warm up, but the need for help to cover heating and cooling costs never goes away. News 3 Now is once again proud to partner up with the Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund and Energy Service Inc. for a day of warmth. It's a telethon and a donation drive to raise money for those in need across the state. It's this Thursday. It'll be from 4 to 6:30. You can donate right now if you like. There's information up on how to do that at channel3000.com. Coming up, is the air inside your home making you sick? We'll tell you what causes indoor air pollution and what you can do to improve the air you breathe.
And Badger men's basketball on the road in Minnesota. We'll see if the UW can end the regular season with a win.
At Stanton Optical, independent eye doctors are available for eye exams whenever you need one. You should have seen me before I got mine. You're so quiet. Are you mad at me? Book your free same-day eye exam at Stanton Optical today.
When the weather gets cold, we're thinking, wish it was spring break. No, not that one. This one. Well, we can't change the weather here, but at Precision Garage Door, we can change this any day, the same day.
So with a Planet Fitness Black Card, I'll get a post-workout glow like that guy?
Everybody knows that you need to glow, the glow to grow.
And I get a free Amazon Halo to track my fitness and sleep.
Cause when you got the glow, there is no stopping what you want to do. Oh.
And I can bring a friend.
It's the way of life.
Okay, sign me up.
Sign up for the PF Black Card for $1 down, $24.99 a month, and get a free Amazon Halo View. Ends March 15th. It's glow time.
It's spring break at Bob's, so take a break from shady price furniture like this competitor's farmhouse set. I paid a whopping $15.29 for it. My Montana has a similar farmhouse look, but I offer dining and counter heights and your choice of 6 chairs or 4 chairs and storage bench with comfy Bobapedic seating for just $9.99. Is theirs really worth $530 more? I agree.
Lake Ridge may be a new name, but it isn't a new bank. It's one built on over a century of community commitment. One equipped with all the knowledge and resources of 145 collective years of experience. Monona Bank and State Bank of Cross Plains are coming together as one. As Lake Ridge Bank, we're doing more together for you.
The Big Share and Online Day of Giving is March 7th. Advance social and environmental justice by supporting the nearly 70 nonprofit members of Community Shares of Wisconsin. Even a $5 donation can make change happen. Donate now through March 7th at thebigshare.org.
A convicted felon kidnapped and raped a 15-year-old girl, abducting her off the street in broad daylight. Judge Janet Protasewicz could have sentenced him to 20 years. Instead, she put him back on our streets.
What detractors would say is you having been soft on a violent sexual crime.
I would say that that's ridiculous.
Judge Protasewicz puts our families at risk, and putting her on our Supreme Court, that's what's ridiculous. Fair Courts America is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Stanton Optical is the best value in eye care. We did the math, people. For $79, you get all this. That costs over $400 at Lens Crafters, over $200 at Walmart, and over $150 at America's Best. When it comes to value, Stanton Optical is the top bird.
You're watching News 3 Now this morning.
Welcome back, 6:13. Believe it or not, the air quality in your home can be worse than the air you breathe outside, especially in the colder months when we keep our windows and doors closed. But as Consumer Reports explains, there are some simple steps you can take to improve the air you breathe. Here's our Shane Hogan.
While newer, more tightly sealed home construction improves energy efficiency, Consumer Reports says it also partly is to blame for indoor pollutants. Where are they coming from? Gas stoves, for one. Tests by Consumer Reports confirm they're a possible source of toxicity and are a cause for concern. So, What can you do?
Think ventilation. Use your range hood every time you cook and open windows to get the fresh, clean air from the outside in.
Other pollutants? VOCs, or volatile organic compounds, emitted from cleaning agents, pesticides, aerosols, even couches and carpets. Irritants to your throat, nose, and eyes, and some may even cause cancer. The solution?
Whenever possible, avoid using harsh chemicals to clean your home. If you can't, again, think of ventilation. Open windows and doors.
And buy mattresses and furnishings that use natural fibers like cotton. Keep your home dust-free, use a vacuum with a HEPA filter to trap contaminants, and clean or change the filters in your air conditioner. Air purifiers can also help. Allen, Winix, and Blue Air models earn top marks in Consumer Reports tests and will run between $275 and $740. You'll likely smell our next pollutant, mold. Often caused by humidity, it can cause rashes, flu-like symptoms, eye and lung irritation. Consider a dehumidifier. Consumer Reports highly rates Honeywell, Medea, and Home Labs and will run between $200 and $320. If your mold stems from a recent weather disaster, you might be eligible for federal assistance. Check out this website for details. And that odorless, colorless, sometimes fatal gas, carbon monoxide, install a detector on every level of your home and outside each sleeping area. This is Shane Hogan.
Shane, thank you. Consumer Reports also recommends checking for radon or radioactive gas that can seep into your home from water and soil. And if your home was built around 1980 or before, check for asbestos and lead. You may want to work with a professional to see what options you have to make sure your home is safe.
6:16, checking with Kelly Slifkin now in your first warn forecast. What's on the Doppler track this morning?
Well, not much, thankfully. We did have a little bit of snow overnight here in Madison. That was very sloppy and wet, but if you are traveling northbound, some of the roads north of the Dells, as you get north of Columbia County, you might encounter some snow-covered roads because some of that is sticking a little bit. But it's going to be a mild afternoon. Temperatures in the mid-40s today. Our average now is 39. Noticing the sunset at 5:52, just think of it a week from now. That's going to be just before 7 o'clock because we're going to be going into daylight savings time. So we are going to be adding an hour to that sunset next week. Bottom line today, it's going to be quiet after the snow we had last night. The roads are a little bit sloppy, a little bit wet. But temperatures generally in the 30s, upper 30s and low 40s, so seasonable throughout the week. We are watching a winter storm that may be impacting our weather late in the week. It looks like Thursday night into Friday, as we will look at our next significant storm system coming our way. Temperatures now in the 30s, 36 here in Madison, 34 in the Dells. As mentioned, we do have a little bit of snow-covered roads up to the north and west, but everybody above freezing all across Dane County. We're sitting at 37 in Waunakee and Sun Prairie, 39 in Stoughton, 37 currently in Verona. So none of this is going to be icing up as temperatures will be climbing into the lower 40s later this morning. The winds are out of the east now. They'll switch around the northeast going into this afternoon. Some of the areas to the north might see a little bit of rain or snow mixed in. It won't last real long up there in Adams and Juneau County, maybe even northern Columbia County, but that'll be very brief. What we're watching is later in the week, so most of the week quiet, but by Thursday night, it looks like we're going to be watching a storm system come in from the west. There might be enough warm air with it that this could have some rain mixed in with it, so that will keep the amounts down here in Madison. But I think areas to the north and then especially in central Wisconsin could see some significant snow accumulation come Friday before everything starts to wind down by Friday afternoon. So our first warn forecast, cloudy today, 44. A little bit of sun tomorrow, but I think that's going to be the only day that we can expect some sunshine as the clouds move back in for Wednesday, Thursday. A few flurries Thursday afternoon. It's mainly Thursday night into Friday, as we are expecting some accumulation by the end of the week, and it does turn colder for the upcoming weekend.
All right, thank you, Kelly. Here's sports reporter Jordan Reed with your morning sports.
The regular season has come to an end for Wisconsin men's basketball. The Badgers wrap things up with round 2 of the border battle. Now, back in January, UW got the 3-point win to make it 5 straight dubs over the Gophers. Of course, last night sticking to this season's theme of close games. Tight one at the barn as UW trails by 2 late second half. Stephen Crow gets the bucket to go plus the foul. So a nice little 3-point play, and the Badgers have the lead. Now it comes down to the final minute, tied up at 62. Chucky Hepburn dials up from distance and money. That gives Bucky the lead for good. Wisconsin ends the regular season with a 71-67 win over Minnesota. Crowell and Tyler Wall both put up 21 points. Next up is the Big Ten tournament. The Badgers have locked up the 12 seed and will face Ohio State on Wednesday. Tip-off for them is set for 5:30 in Chicago. Bucks saw their 16-game win streak come to an end over the weekend. Playing spoiler, 76ers. Philly came back from an 18-point deficit to get the win in Milwaukee, but hey, you gotta flip the page because the Bucks had a quick turnaround. 24 hours after the loss, they were on the road facing the Wizards. Now, fourth quarter, knotted up at 88, Javon Carter has the answer. He flushes a triple for 3 of his 20 points off the bench. And Grayson Allen making it rain from three-point land for the second night in a row. That gives the Deers some scoreboard cushion. And the Bucks move back into the win column behind a team-high 23 from Giannis, who picked up his 4th triple-double of the season. This one is for all the Big Ten marbles. Dean Hamady going up against Iowa's Patrick Kennedy for the 165-pound title in the Big Ten championships. Hamady strikes first, gets 2 points for the takedown. Now, Kennedy's going to cut it to a 1-point match, but Hamady keeps it going in the second period. 2 more for another takedown. He holds on to win by decision, taking home his first ever Big Ten title. Also, 5 Badgers have qualified for the NCAA championships in Tulsa. Hamady, Eric Barnett, Joseph Zargo, Braxton Amos, and Trent Hilger. The road to the Women's Frozen Four officially begins this week for Wisconsin women's hockey. The Badgers earned their spot in the NCAA tournament and will open regional play on Thursday night against Long Island University up in New York. The Badgers head into the game with a 2-0 record against the Sharks. The winner of this semifinal contest will face Colgate on Saturday for the regional final. And whoever comes out of the weekend on top will be heading to Duluth for the Women's Frozen Four. Back to you.
Coming up, why the moon may receive its own time zone.
You're watching News 3 Now this morning. We're back after this.
Watch News 3 Now at 5 with Eric, Susan, and Gary. Weeknights.
Cobison Buses, now hiring.
My name's Mike Williams. I've been driving school bus off and on for 21 years. Here at our terminal, we're kind of like a family too. Somebody has an issue with a bus, other people kick in and help and get the job done.
Menards has everything to add curb appeal to your home. Ideal garage doors add a stylish look to your home's exterior. We have more than 1,000 garage door designs to choose from. Get a 9x7 insulated garage door for $549.99 after rebate. Update your garage door with a Chamberlain garage door opener. Our chain drive model comes with built-in Wi-Fi, allowing you to control your garage door from anywhere. Get it today for just $139.99 after 11% off at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
At Lawton Cates, being prepared and confronting every aspect of your injury case with honesty, integrity, and innovative solutions has earned us a reputation for excellence in representing the injured. Because at Lawton Cates, your life counts.
Do you suffer with pain, numbness, and tingling in the hands or feet? Commonly diagnosed as peripheral neuropathy? Are you taking drugs such as Lyrica or gabapentin that have serious side effects and often do not relieve your symptoms? Your doctor has told you you may just have to live with the pain. Peripheral neuropathy is a result of damage to the nerves, often causing burning, weakness, pain, numbness, tingling, and the most debilitating balance problems. Our facility uses multiple therapeutic methods to help give you relief from neuropathy symptoms with no injections and no drugs. You may start seeing relief after only a few sessions. To determine if your neuropathy symptoms can be relieved, we will do a consultation to evaluate the extent of your condition. Call us today to schedule your neuropathy consultation to find out if you're a candidate for our therapy. Call today.
You've got places to be, things to do, goals to crush. So at Basecamp Fitness, we pack 50 minutes worth of calorie burn into just 35. How do we do it? By switching between 60-second intervals of air bike cardio and strength training to keep the workout and your progress moving forward fast, no matter what level you're at. Take a free class, join, and get a $100 Lululemon gift card through March 31st. Visit any of our 3 Madison locations or basecampfitness.com.
This ring is a commitment. After we got married, I got very sick. He would come every day to help me walk again. And now I'm back. This is a reminder
that love endures all.
Express your extraordinary love. Jared, love brilliantly.
Cobuson Buses, now hiring.
Working with Cobuson, it's definitely been great because of the flexibility. If you do need time off, they work around you. They definitely try to make it a company that's based for you.
Visit Cobuson.com to apply.
Look at Tina's morning. So this is a silky, which is a chicken with a big fluffy poof on top of its head that feels like silk.
I guess you did your research.
Silkies.
Its name is Pepper.
It's Pepper.
Decided to hit the slopes.
Yeah, you get it, Pepper.
Wonder how long it took to get this photo. That's what I want to know. That's what I look like when I get out of bed in the morning.
Hey, thank you, Tina, for sharing that picture with us. Put a smile on our faces. Hopefully it put a smile on yours, too. You can use the hashtag MyNews3Morning when posted on social media. Maybe your picture will make it on the air. All right, so there's a question that has plagued astronauts for a long time is, what time is it on the moon?
And is it a big deal? Well, it is. The European Space Agency is hoping to answer that question by possibly giving the moon its own time zone. The ESA says a joint international effort is being launched to come up with a lunar reference time. They say timing is crucial when it comes to navigation, which is an important part of space travel. The ESA points to dozens of moon missions planned for the coming decade and notes some of them will not only be on or around the moon at the same time, the missions will also need to interact as well.
All sorts of things you'd need, I guess, the time for on the moon.
It makes sense, but how complicated is that?
Yeah, because, okay, we won't get into it. Kelly Slifka.
Not as complicated.
Please.
We do have some nice weather in the forecast today. Temperatures gradually warming into the mid-40s today.
Keep it here. We're back right after this.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Your family's year-round comfort is our year-round commitment at RG Heating and Air Conditioning. We install quality Trane equipment and service all brands so your home's furnace and AC will perform their best year-round. RG Heating and AC.
At Pick and Save, we fresh for everyone.
We protect your house.
We're gonna do it!
And your car.
We need to keep our energy up. I want you to take me to Funky Town.
Because we know they're the launching pad to their dreams. And now you can save up to 23% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote or find an agent at amfam.com.
Us. This isn't us. Is it? When did we get so connected to our devices and so disconnected from each other? And when our phones have turned us into this? LT, what do you do when you're a company that sells them? We gotta fix this. It's time to find what we're missing. Join us in taking a break from our devices. Take the phones down for 5 challenge for 5 days, 5 hours, or even just 5 minutes. Feels good. And let's find us again. U.S. Cellular. Built for us.
It's time to bring balance to business travel and discover the equilibrium that works for you. At National, you're in control. Skip the counter, choose any car in the aisle, and manage your rental right from the app. So you can mix work with leisure, or leisure with work, giving you the control to find the perfect balance. Go National. Go like a pro.
Extremist Dan Kelly wants abortion banned, even in cases of rape, incest, and the health of the mother. For years, Kelly was on the payroll of a radical anti-abortion group working to take away women's rights. On the court, Kelly will uphold Wisconsin's 1849 criminal abortion ban that strips women of their freedom to make personal decisions on abortion. Dan Kelly, an extremist who doesn't care about us.
When your door is always open, so is the fridge. At Pick and Save, however you shop, in-store, pickup, or delivery, you get the same great prices, deals, and rewards. That's a win-win-win. Pick and Save, fresh for everyone.
At RG Heating and Air Conditioning, our promise to you is 100% satisfaction guaranteed. Guaranteed service, repairs, and replacements. Installing quality Trane equipment. RG Heating and AC. We'll always treat you like family. Guaranteed.
This morning, life-saving moments caught on camera. How these quick-thinking officers kept a 2-year-old from dying.
And the snow has moved out of the area, at least for now. Pretty quiet most of this week, but we are tracking a late week storm. We'll have more on that coming up.
Good Monday morning, folks. Welcome to News 3 Now this morning on this March 6th. I'm Josh Breiter.
And I'm Chris Stanford alongside Kelly Slifka with your first warn forecast. Any more of that slushy stuff?
Not anytime soon. Late in the week, though, we're going to be talking about that. So.
Again, Thursday.
Guess what day?
Thursday,
yeah.
right?
Thursday,
What?
yeah. Yeah, it seems like
Really?
Thursday we've been under, 4 or 5 weeks in a row that we've had at least some snow, and that's what we're looking at again later this week. But right now it's dry, or at least nothing's falling from the sky. We do have some wet roads because some of that sloppy snow that we had overnight. A little bit of accumulation as you head to the north. May encounter some snow-covered roads on some of those secondary roads, but once again, temperatures are above freezing, so any snow that does fall is just going to be melting, none of this icing up. We do have an east wind right now, 7 to 10 miles per hour. Eventually that'll become more northeasterly, and it will be quiet most of this week. Generally cloudy. I think we'll see some sun tomorrow, but that'll probably be the only day this week. It will be mild, though, with temperatures in the upper 30s and low 40s, and that's pretty seasonable for this time of the year. Late in the week, though, we're going to start to see some changes as the storm moves in from the west, and that'll bring us wintry precipitation, it looks like, to close out this work week. So in the meantime, quiet today. The wind switch around the northeast will head into the mid-40s for most, a little bit cooler to the north. They may get clipped with a little bit of mixed precipitation as you head up toward the Adells, maybe even in Columbia County up to the north. But headed off to the bus stop this morning, the roads are a little bit wet. Temperatures in the 30s. Headed home, just mostly cloudy skies. Not too bad for this time of March as we head into the low to mid-40s. More on that late week storm system coming up.
All right, Kelly, thank you. You can track that hour-by-hour forecast right from your phone. Just download the First Warn Weather app. Search WISC Weather in your app store. Continuing coverage now, administrators of a Milwaukee area school are apologizing for an incident involving racist speech and behavior from its students during a boys' basketball game against Beloit Friday night.
Students of Muskego High School were involved as Muskego faced off against Beloit Memorial. Following the game, Muskego administrators say they received an email from Memorial's athletic director sharing concerns about Muskego's student section's costume theme, as well as a racist image found in the locker room. Now the district is investigating. We have a statement from Muskego Norway School District that says, in part, dedicating the district, that is dedicated to improving processes that will ensure our commitment of providing an environment that meets the expectations of our community and demonstrates respect for others. 6:32 now. Lafayette County authorities are investigating what they call a suspicious death that comes after an elderly woman was found dead in her Benton home earlier this week. That woman, who authorities have not yet named, was found unresponsive in her home on Car Factory Road. Then she was taken to the hospital where doctors pronounced her dead. Upon learning more from family members, the Sheriff's Office and Benton Police Department launched their investigation. Authorities say there's no threat to the public, though. If you have any information, contact the Lafayette County Sheriff's Office.
Investigators in Rock County are looking into a deadly crash this weekend that left 1 dead and 1 injured. It happened just south of Clinton early Sunday morning. Emergency crews were called to Highway 67 South near Roundup Road for a 2-vehicle crash. Officers say a Ford Explorer was traveling east when it crossed the center line and hit a Ford Taurus. When emergency crews got there, the Explorer was on fire. The driver of the Taurus was taken to a local hospital with serious injuries. The driver of the Explorer was pronounced dead at the scene.
New information now about another train derailment in Ohio. This one happened Saturday in Springfield, about 200 miles away from the Palestine derailment. The train is owned by Norfolk Southern, the same company responsible for the derailment of the train hauling toxic materials in Palestine. The shelter-in-place order for Springfield has been lifted after no hazardous materials were found on the 200-car train. And, you know, there have been a lot of reports recently about train derailments across the country. This morning, we're looking into just how common that is. We looked at the numbers and found that, on average, there are about 1,000 derailments a year in the U.S. That's right, 1,000. The numbers are actually trending down in recent years. The last year data was available was in 2021, and the numbers showed then that There were 8 deaths, 118 injuries, and over 1,600 train accidents.
The Wisconsin Department of Revenue says there is over $6 million in unclaimed property. 1 in 7 taxpayers have unclaimed property waiting for them. The Department of Revenue sent out $3.9 million by mail, but there's still a lot that needs to be claimed. This money comes from bank accounts, uncashed dividends, insurance policies, or other accounts you may not even be aware of or have forgotten them. If you receive one of the letters but are not sure if it's real, you can look at the Check Your Claim Status page on the Department of Revenue's website. If you get a letter asking for payment to get your property, disregard it and make sure to check that website to confirm if you have property waiting.
An icon in the Madison community passed away last week after a long life of serving the community. Agnes Kammer was part of Madison's Filipino community and founded several organizations across the state that work to uplift people of color.
Kammer's friends and family gathered in Madison to honor her legacy of service. Our Braden Ross was there to share how loved ones are remembering her.
Agnes had a way.
Those who knew her say Agnes Kammer was a force of nature.
I never said no to her, and I don't know of anyone who ever said no to her because we all knew that it was for the better good.
She was born in the Philippines in 1926, where she spent her first 25 years before she met and fell in love with an American airman.
She was a very independent woman. From the time she met my grandfather and married him, she left her entire family to come to the States.
After years of moving around the country, she settled in Madison, where she started her career in public policy. Here, she founded the Wisconsin Women of Color Network, an organization aimed at creating community and opportunity for minority women in the state.
I think it was real important, especially when it was founded in the 1980s, that there were few women of color, relatively speaking, who were in managerial and supervisory positions.
She dedicated her life to serving her community, also creating the Philippine American Association of Madison and the Wisconsin Organization for Asian Americans.
She was like an Energizer bunny.
She was always thinking about the network. I don't think a day passed, John, that she did not think about the network, the people in the network.
She was a mentor and a friend to many, always focused on others.
I'm a first-generation immigrant, and I didn't know much about the way of life in this country, and I've kind of followed her.
Her loved ones say her legacy will live on in every life she touched.
I think she's loved, and I think she will be remembered long, long after she's gone. Yeah.
For News 3 Now, I'm Braden Ross.
Some good news to share out of Rock County this morning. A Beloit police officer is being credited with saving a choking toddler. According to police, 2 officers were performing a traffic stop when they were flagged down by a woman running and yelling for help. The woman, carrying a 2-year-old girl that was not breathing, told officers the child had just eaten pizza and may have been choking. These images are from the officer's body camera and were shared by the police department to Facebook. One officer delivered several back blows to the child, and after about a minute, the girl began crying, a sign that she was no longer choking. Just incredible right there.
It's one of parents' worst nightmares.
Wow.
Right there. All right, the 2023 Iditarod officially underway in Alaska. 33 teams competing in the 51st annual race across snow and ice. Mushers and their dogs are going to be running the southern route, which measures just 2 miles shy of 1,000 miles. The first musher expected to finish in 12 days. That's on the 14th. And we have a Wisconsinite in the running this year, Wade Mars. He is the only musher from Wisconsin. He moved here a few years ago up to the Northwoods, grew up in Alaska, and now he is back. He was in last place, and get this, he has moved up to 24th.
Okay.
Out of 33, so he is gaining ground.
We said there was still time, and look at him, he's already gaining.
Yeah, and I got several days ahead of him still.
Yes.
But again, Wade Mars, the only person from Wisconsin competing in the Iditarod this year. Good luck, Wade.
Yeah, it looks so cold there, and I was like looking up. I guess temps are in the 20s, but I'm obviously
20
if you're
degrees.
on, yeah, the wind, all that you got to take into account too. But
boy, Just hoping everybody finishes safely.
1,000 miles, that's a long trek.
It sure is.
All right, 6:39, let's take a live look outside here in the capital city. We're waking up to some wet roads, actually some sloppy conditions, especially north of Madison this morning after some overnight snowfall. Kelly's got the latest storm track for that and what we can expect for the week ahead in his full First Warn weather.
Also ahead, long-term health risks of COVID. We'll share the new findings from a recent study. Stay here.
So with a Planet Fitness Black Card, I'll get a post-workout glow like that guy.
Everybody knows that you need to glow.
And I get a free Amazon Halo to track my fitness and sleep.
Sign up for the PF Black Card for $1 down, $24.99 a month to get a free Amazon Halo View. Ends March 15th.
The local water experts at Culligan can take care of everything but the kitchen sink. Actually, we do that too. Culligan, here for every water worry.
Oh no, I think I lost my debit card.
Okay, don't panic.
Don't panic, we're in a mall. Some stranger's probably tapping new shoes, tapping a washer-dryer combo, just tapping everything in sight.
It's okay, just tap your phone. With BMO, you can use your phone to freeze and unfreeze a lost card.
I can?
And you can always get a new card instantly at a BMO branch.
I got my tap back.
You ever seen someone this excited about a debit card before?
Oh yeah. Not this excited.
When a bank gives you instant peace of mind, that's the BMO effect.
Raising healthy children takes a village, and kids thrive when their village is healthy too.
SSM Health and News 3 Now are helping you unlock a healthier world with our Time for Kids Keys to Health campaign. We'll show you how sustainable choices create healthier lifestyles, explore the impacts of food security on families,
and share ways we can help build a healthy community together. Join us on air, online, and in your village, and take time for kids.
The Big Share and Online Day of Giving is March 7th. Advance social and environmental justice by supporting the nearly 70 nonprofit members of Community Shares of Wisconsin. Even a $5 donation can make change happen. Donate now through March 7th at thebigshare.org.
So with a Planet Fitness Black Card, I'll get a post-workout glow like that guy.
Everybody knows that you need to glow.
And I get a free Amazon Halo to track my fitness and sleep.
Sign up for the PF Black Card for $1 down, $24.99 a month to get a free Amazon Halo View. Ends March 15th.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather, where you'll find out first with Madison's certified most accurate forecast.
Look for just a bit of a drop in temperatures for the latter part of the week.
Trust the experience of Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti and the First Warn Weather team to help you plan your day.
So when you're waking up for tomorrow morning, be prepared for slick spots.
And alert you whenever and wherever you need it. First Warn Weather, Madison's certified most accurate team, keeping you ahead of the storms. You're watching News 3 Now this morning.
On the Health Watch this morning, a new study shows people with long COVID are at risk for a range of adverse health problems, including a doubled risk of dying in the year following the infection. Researchers compared insurance claims data for more than 13,000 adults with long COVID to almost 27,000 without. The study also found people battling the disease are 2 times more likely to experience cardiovascular issues, including strokes, heart failure, and coronary artery disease.
Liquid albuterol has been hard to find lately, and it's about to get even harder. The drug's manufacturer Acorn shut down some of its facilities last month after filing for bankruptcy. It is the only company that made a certain bottled form of the medicine, which is used for continuous nebulizer treatment, a staple in children's hospitals. The shortage of albuterol, which is commonly used to treat people with breathing problems, has led to some health issues across facilities in the country, as the shortage is causing more people to check into emergency rooms because they don't have the medicine. Right now, the FDA is looking into how the manufacturer's shutdown will impact drug supply chains across the country.
Well, the weather may be starting to warm up, but the need for help to cover heating and cooling costs doesn't go away. That's why News 3 Now is once again proud to partner up with the Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund and Energy Service, Inc. for a Day of Warmth. It's a telethon and donation drive to raise money for those in need across the state. It'll be held this Thursday between 4 and 6:30 p.m. You can donate ahead of time. There's more information on how to do that up at channel3000.com.
6:44 on your Monday. Let's get to Kelly Slifka with Weather Track this morning. Kelly, what are you seeing?
Well, this morning we had a little bit of snow that moved through southern Wisconsin, a little bit more up to the north, maybe impacting some of those secondary roads, sloppy, slushy snow. A lot of that in the Madison area melting, but all the snow that is falling from the sky is now lifted to the north. Looking at some clouds this morning, and that'll continue for most of the afternoon. And we are looking at generally cloudy weather. It should be pretty quiet most of this week until the later part of the week. Seasonable temps with highs in the upper 30s to low 40s, pretty close to where we should be this time of March. We are watching a late winter storm that will be impacting our weather, it looks like, going into Thursday night into Friday. We're down 36, so the snow continues to melt. Just wet roads for the most part here in Madison. As you get up toward the Dells, you might encounter some sloppy conditions on some of those secondary roads. 36 in Madison, Cottage Grove, 37, Wanakee, 37, Mount Horeb, currently 37, so nobody below freezing, none of this icing up. This morning, we will have that easterly wind switch around to the north as we go through later today. Temperatures climbing into the low 40s already by the noon hour, hitting the mid 40s. On the backside of the system, some areas to the north might get clipped with a little bit of light rain or sleet or snow, especially as you get north of the Dells, maybe even in Columbia County, but it'll be very brief. What we are watching is later in the week, Thursday night into Friday, the storm is going to be coming in from the west. Now, this time of the year, there's a lot of warmer air in the atmosphere, so we may be talking about a little bit of a mix of some rain and snow as it moves into southern Wisconsin, but I think areas to the north really could get some heavier snow, it looks like, by Friday morning. Things should start to taper off during the afternoon, and then we're going to just turn colder. Our 6 to 10 day outlook looks below average across much of the country. Really, you have to go down to the desert southwest where they'll see above average temperatures. First warm forecast today, 44 with mostly cloudy skies. A little bit of sun tomorrow. I think that's the only day we'll really see any kind of sunshine this week. Temperatures in the low 40s. Still dry Wednesday, most of Thursday, but Thursday night into Friday, that's when we'll watch that storm system move in. The weekend, quiet, but turning colder with highs in the 30s, and we do spring forward. We set those clocks forward 1 hour going into Saturday night to Sunday.
All right, Kelly, thank you. The bar at American Legion's 170th post in Mineral Point has been closed for 35 years, but in its day, it was the place where community members would all gather for a drink. Our Andrew Banstra was there to witness the institution coming back to life.
It's been 35 years since these local Mineral Point veterans have been able to go to their favorite watering hole, but it's finally back and they can't believe how good it looks.
I didn't recognize the place. I said, my wife, that's not the Legion.
A facelift revived an institution. The bar has been out of commission for so long that when I asked for the address, I was told it doesn't have one yet. They said just look for the PBR sign. But back in its day, this was the place to be.
There was no bars open downtown, so this was the only one that was open.
Joe remembers coming to the 170th post in Mineral Point in the early 1950s after a long day fishing the Mississippi. Local law at that time prevented any bars in Mineral Point's downtown, but the post was located outside that jurisdiction. But over the years, bars opened downtown, and eventually in 1987, the bar at this post was closed.
Today means a lot to me because years ago when I was a young boy, we'd come in here and play horseshoes and all this and that, and I remember this place back then.
When a fellow vet passed, he left behind money for the Legion, and that's where some younger veterans stepped in.
We have one member who's a carpenter. All right, and another member who's a stone layer, bricklayer, and they look like brand new in there.
And today, it was ready to come back to life, just like the times when Francis would help his Uncle Jack clean the bar after hours.
It means a lot to see a lot of people show up, and good old days.
Legions are important for veterans, a place to be together and remember those good old days.
So we sit here and shoot the bull about who did what and when they were in the military, and then, you know, the experiences they went through, and it's important to the veterans.
And maybe, just maybe, post-170s revival will breathe some new life into them, too.
This place should have been open every day of the week, or at least weekends, you know, and now we will. We'll be back to throwing them horseshoes I told you about. You know, yeah, it means a lot.
And having a place to be with your brothers and sisters in arms means everything to these veterans. In Mineral Point, Andrew Banstra, News 3 Now.
6:48 right now. Coming up in the morning sprint, continuing coverage of the investigation into a baby abandoned in a field.
We'll be right back.
Sponsored by Three Bears Resort, Indoor Water Park and Conference Center in Warrens, Wisconsin.
It's spring break at Bob's, and I'm introducing my biggest, bestest backyard collection ever. Soak up the sun in outdoor furniture that comes with comfort, quality, and, of course, my everyday low prices. You deserve a break. Spring break at Bob's.
Garage doors are just like us. They don't like the cold weather. But if it breaks, Precision Garage Door is always ready. We always show up in a fully stocked vehicle so we can get the job done today.
Precision Door Service, a name you can trust.
People remember ads with a catchy song. So to help you remember that Liberty Mutual customizes your home insurance, here's a little number you'll never forget.
Customize and save.
Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 Liberty.
What? What's that? Corned beef? Ooh, melty stuff. Sauerkraut? Plus Thousand Island? On special bread? Oh, got it. That's Arby's Reuben. Arby's, we have the meats.
We make sit-down chicken, stand-up chicken, backyard chicken, oops chicken, and all smiles chicken. If there's one thing we know, it's chicken, chicken, and chicken. More choices, more wow, more to love. Tyson.
I love you, kitten. You're so cute. I really hope you like your new house. I'm gonna protect you.
If you're shopping for the cheapest insurance, you're shopping for the wrong thing.
I'll give you food and water every day. I can swaddle you up every night.
After all, insurance coverage is really just a promise. And why would anyone want a cheap promise? You've worked hard for what you have.
Don't be scared.
Protect it with a company that you trust. A company that lives up to that promise to make everything right again.
You like it, huh?
Ask your independent insurance agent about protecting your home or business with a policy from West Bend. It's a simple promise, but there's really nothing cheap about it.
You're gonna be really loved, and I hope you like it here.
West Bend. The worst brings out our best.
For 75 years, DePaco has been more than local. It's a member-owned, not-for-profit cooperative that has grown into a vital community resource, a place where members can build a life worth loving. When you join DePaco, you own it. Your money stays here, enriching the lives of your friends and neighbors. DePaco strives to carry out the mission envisioned by the 10 meatpacking employees who founded it, to create a brighter community for all. To learn more about DePaco and how to become a member, go to depaco.com/join.
People are buzzing about my highly rated bedrooms, like my Tremont Queen bedroom set, my romantic Scarlet collection. Go glam with Diva 2. See what all the buzz is about at Bob's Discount Furniture.
Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
6:52, time for the morning sprint.
We start with an investigation underway in Whitewater this morning as police are looking for answers after a newborn was found dead in a field. The body was found near the Twin Oaks Mobile Home Park on North Tratt Street shortly after 11 Saturday morning. Right now, investigators are looking into this, but Whitewater police aren't sharing any more details at this time.
The Annie C. Stewart Fountain at Vilas Park in Madison needs repair, and the city hopes that you'll share your thoughts on its future. They have a new survey out. The fountain is 100 years old and has a history of vandalism going back some 95 years. Annie C. Stewart was a well-known charitable member of the community in the early 20th century. We have a link to the city's survey up at channel3000.com.
Residents in Maryland were shaken by an explosion Sunday when a tanker hauling flammable liquid crashed into a tree, killing the driver. More than 100 firefighters were called to the scene. 5 vehicles and 6 homes were damaged. Fire officials say they were able to prevent fuel spillage into the sanitary sewer system.
Officials in Kansas reporting no injuries after another train derailed. This one happened in the town of Riverdale. So far, officials say the Union Pacific train was carrying no hazardous materials and requires no hazmat cleanup. Cleanup should take a few days as crews are waiting on cranes and other heavy equipment.
At least 7 people are recovering this morning after a massive fire swept through a commercial building in the Bronx, New York. 5 firefighters are among the injured. Investigators suspect a lithium battery in an e-bike triggered the blaze. The city's fire commissioner says lithium batteries are to blame for more than 400 fires in the city over the past 4 years.
Hundreds of protesters in Iowa gathering on the State House steps to speak out against what they call anti-LGBTQ legislation, clearing its first hurdle. 30 bills are circulating the Iowa legislature at the moment, with one notable one looking to reverse gay marriage laws. The amount of bills surrounding LGBTQ issues in Iowa hit record numbers this year.
Massive protests are continuing in Greece after 57 people died in a train crash last week. Tear gas has been used as protesters clashed with police near the Greek parliament in Athens. At first, authorities said a station master blamed the disaster on a technical failure, but later admitted to making a mistake.
Thousands of people in Kentucky have been without power since Friday after strong and severe storms devastated parts of the state. It was one of the most severe systems to hit Kentucky in the last 20 years. Crew members reported down lines and power poles, several thousand of down wires. Surrounding states offering up their help this morning to get the power back on.
The coronation for the new King of England is only a few months away, and King Charles has extended an invite to his son, Prince Harry. If Harry shows up, this would be the first meeting between the king and his son since Harry released his secret-filled book titled Spare. Harry has not said if they would attend.
Houston, Minnesota, hosting their annual international celebration of owls. Around 2,000 people come from all over the world, which triples the small town's population. It takes nearly 100 volunteers to put it all on. The city's businesses pitching in to make it all work.
All right, good morning. First Warn meteorologist Kelly Slifka, just about 7 o'clock now, as the snow that we had overnight is now lifted well up to the north. Still some impacts up to the north. Some of that accumulated on some of those side roads. A lot of this melting, though, in Madison with temperatures above freezing, 36 right now in Madison, 34 in the Dells. Janesville at 36 as well. Winds are out of the east. They'll become more northeasterly today. Some of our northern counties might get clipped with a little bit of light rain or snow moving through fairly quickly. Shouldn't amount to too much. But throughout the day, we'll look at cloudy skies. Winds out of the east this morning. Notice how they switch around to the north. Pick up a little bit this afternoon. Temperatures in the low to mid 40s. So running a little bit above our average for this time of the year. If you want some sun, I think tomorrow is the only day we'll get it this week because it looks like the clouds will win out. And later in the week, we're talking about a system that'll bring us some snow and maybe some accumulating snow, especially areas to the north of Madison. We'll keep monitoring that throughout the week.
All right. Make it a great day, fam. We'll see you tomorrow.